lunch late. Fashionably late. But not yet, we're getting close. Getting close.
Got 2 minutes. Didn't hear from, Anna, does anybody know? Anna's awesome.
Who's this?
Anna.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sometimes she lets us play without supervision. He's already practicing to be a judge.
Yeah. Marcia live in Lamar. Does he live in Lamar? Does anybody know?
I don't know. Ooh.
Everybody in Lamar is late.
I don't know. Well, that's because they don't know which way to go.
Yeah.
You hit the highway, it's rough to see. Start cutting Kevin's pay each minute he's late.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, those deals I woke up this morning, I didn't take that, they gave me a prescription for Zyrtec, you know? I'm supposed to take it twice a day, and I didn't last night. God, I woke up like 5 this morning, I was like, oh.
Benadryl? Is that part of your routine?
Nah,
No?
well, they said I could take it, but they just gave me a prescription for Zyrtec.
Okay.
Man, I'll tell you what, never again, man. I got attacked by killer bees.
Oh, wow.
So you got one down there on
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that was like nothing compared to, they got me on the head where they got me the most. But I guess I'm still cycling that poison, man. Cause like I get like, my head will get stuffy and then, you know, and I'm like, ooh.
When was this and where?
Yeah.
When and where was it?
Oh, well, I'm sorry, man. I was working over there at my buddy's place on the west side of Lake Mass. There's a ranch property that borders in, and I was clearing some brush off the fence line. And boy, I didn't saw them.
There is.
Are we good on the live? Okay. All right, well, it's 5 o'clock, guys. I guess we can get ready here and get started. This is the September 29th, 2025 meeting of the Aransas County Appraisal District Board of Directors. We are here at the offices on Highway 35, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So first off, we have the declaration of quorum called order. And typically what has been our practice is to go around the table and introduce ourselves. We can start with you, Mike, even though you're not technically on board just yet. Go ahead and just announce your name.
My name is Micah Hale.
Shannon Hasty. Nikki Arnold.
Kevin Lambert.
And I am Matt Oker. And we're going to go ahead and move along to agenda item number 2, and that is citizens to be heard. Do we have any citizens that would like to be heard? Ma'am? No? Okay. Well, there's no point in me reading that whole paragraph here.
Yeah.
I don't guess. All right, moving along, agenda item number 3, administration of oath to new board member should read. We have a new board member, Mr. Micah Hale, and I guess if we can get Nancy in here, we'll get that going.
They roped you into this?
They
did.
I'm telling you, you get invited to all the cocktail parties when you're on this thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy, my Christmas is.
Kind of a who's who of.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You're a dignitary now. Oh, yeah, you get invited to all the parties. I guess she got all the paperwork there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to sign your life away here.
That's Michael right over there.
Did you go through the document?
Sure. Same.
Paperwork read, and we got one for me. Say your name.
I, Micah Hale, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of office for the Board of Directors of the Aransas County Appraisal District of the state of Texas, and I will do my best to my ability to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
Wonderful. And if you can just sign there. And enter your name there.
Anything? I, Micah Hale, do solemnly swear that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, promised to pay, contributed, or promised to contribute any money or value, or anything of value, or promised any public office or employment for the giving or withholding of a vote at the election at which I was elected, or as a reward to secure my appointment or confirmation, whichever the case may be, so help me God.
Not yet, we haven't approved it. We issued a badge and gun at a later date, Mike.
Excellent. Can I bring my own?
If you did, you're a fool.
Okay. Maybe you can find my notes. Sorry.
Oh, but just in case,
Let's pull out the book on
just in case.
that.
We'll have it. I have to have my glasses now. I hate it. Drives me crazy.
I'm still, knock
Okay,
on
we have your
wood,
TDM number?
I'm still good close up.
You know, you have to have that long arm.
No.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, I bothers me so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, we're good then, he's duly sworn in.
Yes, sir.
All right, welcome to the board, Micah.
Thank you very much.
Happy to be here.
All right, so, with that behind us, agenda item number 4, consideration and action on the minutes of the August 25th, 2025 meeting. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we accept the minutes of the August 25th, 2025 meeting.
Okay, we have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I just had one point here on, number 4, at the end of Kevin Lambert's name, we have an errant L, which I don't think is an issue since our signature page is gonna be independent of that. If we can just, whenever we put it out in the public, just correct that little typo, but our signatures wouldn't get done tonight.
Okay.
I have the first,
Where?
it's in the agenda item number 4. Yeah, on the minutes,
I guess I've read my name so many times, I just glanced over.
yeah, right there in the middle.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Lambert.
Yeah, yeah, it's trying to have a secret identity over here.
When in the world of misspelled names, we found out today that since Nikki's been on this board, her name has been misspelled on our website. We just corrected it in my
I don't bother with it anymore.
almost my 10. Yeah, I saw it today. Yeah.
Now, is it Nikki or Yarnell that they?
It was
Yarnell.
E in there instead of an A in Yarnell.
Okay, do we have any other discussion on the minutes of August 25th? Hearing none, call the vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Okay. Agenda item number 5, approve unopposed 2025 budget amendment.
Motion to approve the unopposed 2025 budget amendment.
We have a motion, we have a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Janet. Okay, discussion on that.
So is this the one where we sent it off to the server to get approved?
Yes, ma'am.
And then so they approved it, I guess?
By not objecting?
By
they
not
approve it.
objecting to it?
Yeah, we have to give them 30 days.
To object to it, and then, so now we can go out and buy stuff.
They love everything we do over here.
There you go, Ray.
Christmas and
Go have fun.
Okay, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, agenda item number 6. Discussion of the Board of Directors selection. You know what that means?
That was, put on here in case the board wants to discuss any of the,
Oh, what's going on with
the appointee system. And that right now there is not a consensus amongst the entities. And if this board would like to talk about it, basically, while you're together. We didn't want to have a meeting and then not be able to talk about this, because it is in the
Yeah.
community.
I was actually thinking about this the other day, because we don't have anything set in stone to where this next go-around, the entities can just do what they've been doing or pass their votes or whatever.
All we have is the 1989 document.
So we're back to 1989 now,
We are. That's right.
and
There's not consensus in time. And Matt and I were at a county commissioners meeting last Monday, and last Monday they voted on a new resolution that's different than the resolutions that were voted on by the other entities. So there's a second resolution out there that's trying to garner steam, but it won't get it in time. They're not gonna make it in time.
what's the deadline? Is it already passed?
Not tomorrow.
it? 2 days.
When,
Yeah,
Wednesday, yeah, there you go. So, there isn't and I bet you money, there's not a board in the state of Texas that knows this to the level y'all know it. But we are we're kind of at a stalemate. We're just at a spot that's a little bit, it didn't happen. It just didn't get done.
So, since we had that workshop and everybody was gonna go back and do their thing, who have we heard from that they have done?
The county and the city.
the county, the city, Fulton, Port A ISD, AP ISD, but then the county is different than the other 5. And so there are not a majority, as it states, of a resolution that he can verify to make the changes. I told him this earlier in an email this week, I feel like all of the entities want to do this to get everything more current. They just haven't agreed and gotten a resolution that fits everyone's,
And so if we don't do it by Wednesday, by the end of September, then we have to wait a whole year, or?
My thinking is it's a new year in January. We as a board can also take action or amend the changes. Maybe it's something we have the next several months to continue to reach out to the entities. Maybe this county resolution where it increases to 6 is something all of the entities might like. We're at a deadline right now and an impasse until January rolls around. Our deadline is even past as a board. Ours is like in August if we want to make a change. But next year we can look at making a change, whether it's the entity or a board, really.
Wasn't it, so the county voted to increase the board size to 6?
That's correct.
Isn't, per the code, though, still only 5 voting members? Or am I misremembering that?
You're not misremembering it. It's a valid interpretation of how that all equals out, yes. It does say it's 5 members. It does say that it can be increased. You have to dive down into what's the next one, 06, and then you get into,
It can be increased up to 13. It has a max.
Right.
And they are voting members.
Okay, so
If by resolution, there's a
if
consensus
the taxing entities agree.
amongst the
Okay.
entitled,
Correct.
and the entitled
So as
are
long as their resolution says that
towns,
they
schools,
want-
and cities.
Correct.
everybody can be a voting member. Okay.
Correct.
They can do that.
Did they, and I haven't read them, I didn't realize the county was trying to increase it. And did they,
They don't tell us anything.
have you read the resolution that the county put out?
I did.
Did it have in there that it was specifically for an extra voting member, or?
I don't know that it actually said voting, but it did list, much like he was just saying, we have entitled to vote entities, and we have other, which are our conservation and reclamation. If the NAV district submits a letter by June 1st, which they did, they're considered an eligible to vote entity. That's this year. They would have to do it again next year. But they did label them in that resolution of eligible or voting entities, and then they called them secondary entities, I think, NAV district or other,
So
types
do
of
you think
entities.
the county's idea was to give that extra one to Rockport Fulton?
It was to the city. They
City of
listed it out in the resolution.
So that would give the city one voting
One.
member that they
That's
could
correct.
appoint.
Yeah.
That's correct.
3, 2,
So
1.
you know, that's a bad thing.
Be 3,
You
2,
wouldn't
1.
even,
RFI.
I don't know that it would
county tax.
necessarily be a
3, 2,
bad thing
1.
if the
Correct.
district had one on here too. But that's not my decision. Anyway,
Yeah.
okay,
Well, maybe we just need to, since there's nothing we can do now, maybe we need to set a time for next year to make sure it's on the agenda and decide what we want to do at that time. And
I know that the county, commissioner who told me that they had adopted it, said that they had sent it to other taxing entities as well to see if it fit them or if they wanted to adopt it. That
so,
consensus, again, third party, was that the NAV district liked that or was okay with that, and maybe they were gonna put it on their agenda, but again, we're past
yeah,
the
Mhm.
deadline
and
to get
he's
that
kind
done.
of given the idea that I think the guy from the NAV district, that he would be agreeable to that. He wouldn't have to be a voting member as long as we increased it. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I got from that meeting.
mm. So going forward, this next year, for 2026, we don't have anything in place, so are the entities just gonna operate as we have been and just
As
do
we
the
go to
appointment?
1989,
Or we're
until they
going-
change it, and again, we couldn't get them all to agree on.
So we're going back to the actual code on how they appoint? No, we're going back to just the standard appointment of RFISD gets the 3 and then county gets 2? Okay.
So my thought that's incorrect. I mean, I don't think there's legal footing at all for us to operate under the 1989. And the fact we've done it this many years is not a good excuse to keep doing it. But I don't know how to impress upon the elected officials that that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I was with it.
To me, there's no legal footing for it at all. I don't think the 1989 resolutions were ever legitimate. They never met the 3/4 threshold. And, you know, they can do what they want to do. I mean, I certainly had no power over them, but that's my thought, is that looking at it
I
just
think
from,
this-
you know, there's just,
I think what I would like to see this next go around is actual resolutions from them, from their board meetings that actually appoints us, or those that are up for appointment. Because this last go around, I don't think I ever got that, or at least maybe it came up in February or March.
I don't know.
Say that again?
So I don't remember this last year, because I had to reach out to somebody on the school board and ask, am I still gonna be on the appraisal district board? And it was basically just kind of a, yeah, go for it. And I think they ultimately did vote on it, but it wasn't done before January.
Hmm.
I would kind of like to see that.
Yeah.
Well, I saw, and I don't know if this office is maintaining it, but there was a roster here with years and dates or something on it at one point, but that was only when I first got here.
Oh, who's been on the board?
Correct.
Yeah. I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, I think it's always just kind of been just an understood thing by the end of the, yeah, you're on it, you're appointed for it, whatever, without all the,
But isn't it supposed to be a
actual-
2-year?
mine is only for a
Yeah,
year.
staggered,
Yeah.
term.
Because
Well,
I did the unexpired term, so technically mine's over
Because
at the end of
Colleen's,
this year.
Correct.
that's correct, and because Colleen's was 2 years, mine has only ever been for a year at a time.
Which is not
it-
consistent with the code either.
Exactly,
The
so
code does
mine
not
was
say
never a
that.
2-year appointment, mine was always an annual appointment.
And even the 1989 resolutions, do they say staggered terms?
Just as I-
But does it delineate who is staggered?
Not sure.
It's even years and odd years.
Well, I know that, but
Appointment.
like whose appointments are what?
Whose appointments are?
I mean,
And-
is it-
Now that I don't know.
Because at this point, Nikki, myself, and Micah are RFISD appointments, and then the 2 of y'all are county, right?
Mhm.
And I think both county positions were 2 years staggered, right?
Well, she just got appointed.
I
But
fulfilled an
that was because,
unexpired term.
that was because Jeff was,
No,
whatever happened
they
there.
said his expired, that's why he left.
Well, they told me I was filling an
I
unexpired
thought
term.
his was still good, and it was because they basically unappointed him.
Because the other county commissioner wanted, Russo?
Yes.
I don't care what name she was using, but she wanted to make my appointment longer and they didn't, get approved.
The originally, what I recall was when they appointed Jeff, they appointed him to a one-year term, which Commissioners Court can't even do. I don't understand why they
I
do.
thought he was, anyway, we're,
Yes, but, because I don't even know who he replaced.
yeah, I don't know. Because there was a complete turnover of the board, I think, other than Colleen and Michaela at that point.
So
Yeah.
whose terms expire when? When is yours?
Mine's up, because I was appointed. to fill
Yours up this year.
I think, so
December,
you're, because you're on the board of trustees, aren't you? Or no? Okay, you are. And so is your board participation here like a 2-year appointment, or is it just because y'all want a board of trustee on this board?
No, it was adopted by resolution, we submitted it to the board when I got put on the board.
And it was at the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah,
So-
January.
That's right, it was.
So you have through 26.
So yours was 2 year,
26.
and Colleen's was a 2 year, but I think mine was always a 1 year appointment, or at least that's what they told me. And so it was every year I was supposed to be reappointed.
And see, in order for them,
Well, that
Does that
sounds
make
like
sense that
something
there
we
was
need to get
always-
fixed.
I remember reading Janet, because that time there was so much going on that I was paying attention.
Yeah.
And because we were underneath the part of the Constitution that basically says, in the event that someone's not elected or chosen, the previous person just stays and you continue operating. So I was watching, and I remember Janet said 1 year. And that was confusing for me, because of her being new, why would it be a 1-year appointment? But, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why. I wasn't at the meeting, so I don't know what was said that day or anything. I don't know.
So that's something that might be nice to have in this resolution is, if by statute we're
And the one
supposed to
that
be.
county adopted, and it's in the proposed one that all the other entities did to accept the county's own increases by seat. It lists seats 1 through 3, and it lists them by entity are in an even numbered year, and seats 4 through 5 or 6 are in an odd number year,
So
based
we-
on the entity. That's
And
on the
they're all,
resolution.
and they're all 2-year terms,
It
right?
does say 2 years, but they're staggered seats 1 through 3.
Yeah, so you have three people turning, or, if you want to stay on, but
Correct,
you have the opportunity to stagger
correct.
on and off every other year.
and how was that designated, like, do you remember, or do you have it?
I have one that I drafted up that is very similar to the
I
county,
think
but
that's
it's
on
how
first
they
reading.
listed the entities. It was
These are
like
already questions already.
school district, county, city, school district, county, or
Okay.
however. And
So
so they
it pops up.
alternated so that 1 through
Yeah.
3 and then 4 through either 5 or 6 would stagger.
No,
I
I
would
just,
just hope for a little bit cleaner way from the entities, how we've been appointed. and
In an
whatnot.
ideal world, which we are not in, we have from right now until the end of December. If everyone can agree either on the county's resolution, even if we're past the date, the cleanest thing to do at that point might be that the board adopts it in January, already having the knowledge that all the entities are on board with it. Then I don't have to go through her board meeting and their board meeting and everyone's board meeting, but we just need to know the legwork before then, if you will.
Yeah.
That would be an ideal world, in my opinion, but only because I know that they've already put in some work. They already have the knowledge or the knowing that they're either wanting to or not wanting to.
I think it bears mentioning at this point that for 25 years, I have taken an interest in who's on the CAD board. And for 25 years, every single elected official at the local level has told me, it doesn't matter who's on that board. And all of a sudden, it matters. It matters a lot. So it's kind of weird how we've done such an about-face locally, but.
What do you guys think about, I'm just hearing what everybody's saying, and I'm thinking, is there some value to the county reps and the school district reps going to those entities and saying, can we please get a decision made for 26 early? Meaning not at the last minute, not in February, like, for these two seats, can we just reappoint you?
I was already planning on reaching out and.
Let's go ahead and get this
just-
done, let's
yeah.
go ahead and,
So we have 3 seats, right, that are gonna expire in December.
I know mine.
Yeah, so we could go to the county
go to the judge and just say.
and just ask if they're going to,
I mean, it might be a bit early right now, but.
Yeah, no, sure, it could be.
It's not actually early, because I think the school district actually put an ad out for applications that people were
Okay.
interested, and so it's prime time, really. I think the city has done it before, the county has done it before, put an ad in the paper and asking who's interested, and,
I
because
think
you
that's
said you applied at the beginning, right?
yeah, and then my original one, I applied.
I think that's
Definitely,
about
yeah.
the right timing, because I think when I put my application in originally, it was in August, so that would be, and then
Well,
they
and
made their decision November, December.
Isn't there something in there that says they have to do it by,
Yeah, I'm even a little bit concerned, Nikki, that even if they had all these resolutions done, that they would be outside of
Yeah.
the time. Someone could potentially say, we don't care, these resolutions are here. That, the downfall to that happening is just, do we want to run up against the map review, where when someone with the state comes here and spends a week with us, they notice that this date is after August the 5th, and then says, why did you change your procedure after October the 5th, I'm sorry. That is possible. None of this is normal.
No,
Our
I don't
timing is-
anticipate that we should make an amendment until the beginning of the year. But again, that's my opinion on it,
Yeah.
only because all of the deadlines after Wednesday will have
Right.
passed for,
I mean, the state's the only thing that can come in and throw a monkey wrench in this thing.
Yeah, they come in with like the way it works is every other year, they come in with like a 90-question thing, and they sit in this room, and they spend a week here, and we go through every question. Give me 30 properties, give me this, give me your ag properties, give me all of your minutes, and then they'll notice that there was a change, and then they would have questions. My safest method here is that whatever the board is now is the board next year. That's my
I would
safest
agree,
method.
I would agree with that. I mean, if they want to appoint someone different, fine, but
That's their
I don't
choice.
think we add a 6th member at
Oh,
this
yeah.
oh,
point.
no, we
That's gonna
can't.
happen.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way to legally do that.
I have been making subtle pleas at the places we go speak. I have been talking about how wonderful our board is.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
We'd love to keep it
Yeah.
together. So I don't know if that's wrong with deaf ears or not, but I'm trying.
Yeah, and I have ulterior motives too, for saying, hey, let's get this done, that way we get to know who's here, we get this
So-
decision made, and.
hopefully I'm not too forward in asking you, but only because the code says that you're the one who has to verify that enough, resolutions exist. Is there something that we as the board with your input can then send to them? There were not enough valid resolutions to meet the deadline, only because we attempted this, without the next couple of months,
Right.
look into prompt them to look at their appointments for something. I
I've
don't
been
know.
thinking about that question, and here's the answer to that question. Is, I don't understand how entities communicate. So I don't even understand. I don't know. I walked out of the county commissioners meeting when they voted for 6, and I didn't want to be the guy that asked a stupid question, but my stupid question was, how does anybody know that this even happened? Like, how does,
You don't. So even this meeting right now, you're required to post it, and you're required to post it 3 days prior to having your meeting, and you put your agenda out there, and it's on anyone else to go look for it.
fair enough. So,
That's it.
by code, right now, there is no responsibility to notify anybody because the key word in there was change. And there wasn't enough resolutions to create change.
No, I
But we could do it
completely
for
understand.
information
I'm
purposes.
thinking of, yes,
Yeah.
straight
I think
information.
good communication.
Like transparency, information, just,
And again, one of the things I picked up from the workshop was they want that feedback from the board, this board specifically, and it's just never been done. Whether they've never asked for it, whether we've never provided it, again, I've only been here a little bit, but there's nothing to say we can't increase that flow.
right.
Yeah, and so back up to the genesis of this whole thing, that's how it started. I contacted 3 entities and said, hey, I'm going to try to put forth, because at first I kind of kicked that around, like, what's better? Like, really, they should be making the decision, but sometimes this stuff's not on the radar. So I said, well, why don't we come up with one? If the majority of this board approves it, we kick it to them for a yay or nay, up or down. And that was met with some resistance, to put it mildly. And so, that's when I backed off and said, okay, ball's in you guys' court now. And had I known that we would be still sitting here today, several months later discussing this, I would have just moved forward and just would have proposed a resolution. And, once we voted it out, then they could kick it up or down either way.
Yeah.
But, and that may be our best, way of doing this after the first of the year, because it just says by September, whatever. It doesn't say after July 31st and before, does it?
Only for the entities. Our board one says we can do it, up till
August.
August 15th.
Okay, but
The entities
Right.
have to do it and then submit a resolution between June and
Yeah.
October. And so there are two different ones, but for us, it's before August.
so we could do it January 3rd,
Mhm.
if we, I mean,
True,
theoretically. right?
yes.
And that may be what gets this thing jump
It is
started.
possible.
I don't know.
It is possible. It's interesting though, like, I think if I'm understanding Nikki here is you, for transparency and for information, maybe to be completely clear, this board could draft a letter that summarizes where we're at. Is that kind
I'm
of?
just thinking information back to
Yeah.
To
all
the
of the
entities and
entities.
says, it would almost be like where you would have a time frame, like the board of directors called a workshop on this date.
Yeah.
On these dates, certain entities, approved a resolution on this date, the county approved a resolution that's different. So now we're at, I don't know, you wanna say back to the drawing board.
Well, we
But
just missed the deadline.
We're beyond the deadline and we haven't yet come to consensus. But then you could put something in there that is encouraging to say, but there is progress, which I think is true.
Yeah.
There is
I
progress.
agree.
Yeah.
I think they all want to agree on something.
Mhm.
It just was
And
up
maybe
against
that our
the deadline.
intent is to start the process in January to see if we can get it done in 26.
Well, that letter from the board, from this board, would definitely be proactive in trying to foster a decision, for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's not a mandatory thing, the key word being, change didn't happen. So since change didn't happen by code,
Right.
nothing happens.
Right.
Like,
So maybe that's something that we should take a look at on a December agenda, is, coming up with a template for a letter to go out. Something we can work on between now and then, and approve, or
you know, whenever you guys would want to do that, you guys could draft a letter.
Because we want to
I
get
would
it,
say, let's get that moving as soon as possible, because I'd rather see the resolutions done sooner rather than later. So
I think
if
the hard part
somebody
is just
wanted to-
figuring out what you're gonna say.
If we could just have a handful of people throw templates together and, work on it between now and the next meeting, and then have something to vote on at the next meeting to go out.
because I want to give them something to chew on over Christmas, I know they're
Well,
kind
but
of
I think we're
like.
talking about the next meeting's not till December though, so then we're back to that.
I don't mind putting notes together, maybe not necessarily the draft, but the history of where we are and what we have. I think we could accomplish it in an email, honestly,
Yeah,
Hmm.
if you
before the
can,
December.
if you can do that, I'll throw a draft together.
So I think we could get it accomplished, electronically
Yes.
Yeah.
before December, and then.
I love the idea of you guys informing the other, people, because it helps me understand how the connectivity works. I really did walk out of that day going, how does anybody know that just happened?
And
You know, is there like a beacon that
It's in the
goes off,
minutes.
or like a bat signal?
It is a bit weird, I mean, you kind of expect, especially in a smaller community, you kind of expect those people to interact and interface a lot more, and I guess they don't, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking the same thing, I was like, man, this seems isolated.
Yeah.
But on mine, it's just gonna say, well, Ray Presley's here. Okay, was there anything else we needed to talk about on that, or are we, ready to move on?
So we're gonna come up with an
If-
email,
if-
a draft.
If somebody
kind of
will
thing
give me
that
the history or the dates and whatnot, I'll throw a draft together, they can go off
Okay.
to the entities asking for, begging them to get something put in paper and approved.
So are we gonna see this email before it goes to the entity?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'll put something, do you want me just to, do we want something we vote on? Or
Well, my suggestion is, why don't we do it this way? Why don't we come up with a letter where we give a little background and talk about, here's what needs to be done within this framework, and why don't we just alert them that, hey, there's no need to take action right now, why don't you be looking for a resolution from the board in the first quarter of '26? How about that? I think that's what most of them are looking for, instead of this bouncing back and forth stuff. I really think that if we put forth a resolution, I really
So
don't think it's
let's
gonna be.
send a notification that we will provide a resolution based on what they've all asked for.
Yeah. And they can
then
amend it,
vote.
or they can vote it down, or whatever they want to do. What do y'all think?
I'm good with that. And we'll send it out, we'll vote on it in January.
Yeah.
December. Yeah, we're talking about the letter sent out, but we're talking about our resolution will be out first year, yeah.
Correct.
Right.
I'll throw a letter together and then I can send it to you and let you look at it if you want to disseminate it or if you want to wait till December.
Okay, cool. Because I think there'll be a collective sigh of relief, actually.
I personally think the letter should go out the sooner the better, only because people are gonna start doing that. Maybe the county opens the application,
I don't
maybe
think
they don't,
there's-
I don't know that, but getting the entities that letter ahead of time.
I don't think there's any reason,
I was gonna say, can we issue a letter without it being
I don't,
on an agenda?
yeah, I think we can.
I mean, we're not taking action,
It's
So let's just do it.
just a notice,
let's just do it.
so, yeah.
Okay, well, let's get that done then.
Nikki, send me history and whatever, I'll throw something together, send it to you, I'll let you just, so there's a second pair of eyes on it, and since you've been in contact with everybody, I'll let you send it out.
I think I have to sign it, maybe, or you sign it.
You can sign it, no, you can sign it.
Well, I just had to sign those other notices.
No,
I
that's
don't know if
good.
that's a board policy or,
No, we'll keep that consistent.
It's the tax code, there's things that the secretary signs.
Yeah.
Okay.
To keep I think it's basically to keep the chairman from being the end all of all things, maybe there's things that have been granted to the secretary.
And I charge for my autograph, so.
Yeah. Maybe there's another reason, that's the way I see it.
Well,
I'll throw something
yeah,
together and then I'll send it back to Nikki.
a lot of times your secretary is, custodian of records, so if they figure,
There
well,
you
if that's the person signing, that's who's gonna have a copy. Okay, all right, moving along to agenda item number 7, discussion on personnel policy manual and how best to proceed with updating. I believe, Janet probably has, where we need to go on that, huh?
Well, I've, something to discuss about it, yeah. So we already did approve a couple of changes in the May meeting, but at that time, what we talked about is this policy manual hasn't been updated since 2018. So we really need some looking at. So we had talked originally about coming up with a small work group, and doing that. Or if y'all like, I could, take my hand, coming up with it. The only thing that I would need, I know I need input from initially is, what do you want to see change? I mean, where do you see issues in your personnel?
So, I think we're thinking along the same lines. And the way I looked at this was, we did make it to the fall, and that was what I was hoping to do, was make it to the fall, and then we can, the timing around here is so much better right now. So I think that, depending on the way the board would want to handle this, is the appraisal district could just write this thing and give it to y'all, and say, this is the new one, look at it. Or, you could come up and come up to the office and write with us if you wanted to, or anybody could, as long as we didn't break the quorum.
Are you talking like come up with something completely new, or just redlining this one and?
I've looked at just modernizing it, making it better, so
I'm
it,
sure I emailed out one with a bunch of modern.
you did,
Yeah.
you did. There is.
There's a bunch of them on the comptroller.
I would almost say it's coming up with new.
So-
There's enough changes to say,
It's basically gonna be new.
it's gonna be a lot better, maybe less wordy would be one way
Why?
to say it. So, yeah. It depends on how,
So if we're just discussing this, I'm good with that. Y'all know here better than anybody else, and it's your job to run the staff here, not our job.
right.
So,
And I would
Have
be
at it.
glad to be a participant in that, to
Yeah.
come with the work group.
And if you would, that creates the bridge between the district and the board of directors. And I like that. What I think it would require is you coming up here.
Yeah.
I don't see any way to not do that.
No, that's
And there
fine.
would probably be a few visits. There would be at least one where I'm here, but then I think I would probably include Val Smith in this. And there would be you coming up and Val. And after a few visits, 2 or 3 visits, we kind of get this thing ironed out maybe.
Hopefully.
What do you think?
Depends
And
on
I
the
think that
changes.
we develop it, so she can have your input, your whole office's input.
Yeah. As long as then I like the idea of the bridge being here.
Okay.
Between board
Yeah, I don't have any
and
problem
office.
in being there, just
Yeah, then we can just schedule some
Just check
time.
with my calendar, yeah.
That's just a matter of scheduling some time to sit up here and redo this.
I nominate Janet as the board representative to work with the employees on personnel policy changes.
Second.
It so shall be decreed.
All I just think we don't have to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to do it, so,
And this, I make no qualms about it, that on this kind of stuff, man, I'm just, I'm good with whatever y'all wanna do, I'm just not real wonkish on this, and, let's put together some policies you can live with, and I'm good. I don't need to put in my 2 cents on every line for sure.
I like the idea of having a personnel policy that you can read that also is realistic.
Yeah.
Like before I worked here, I worked in industrial environments, and sometimes the standard operating procedures were so unrealistic that it's like, nobody does
Yeah,
this
yeah.
thing that
Nobody has ever done this.
No, I like the idea that we can have a shot at this
Well,
the right
good or
way.
bad, my entire life experience is in government policy.
There you go, you're perfect.
That is my degree, so.
That's great.
Should we put her on a word
I look
limit? Okay, good stuff. So Jenny, you can take the lead on that. If you need any additional resources, let us know, and we'll be happy to tell you no. All right, moving along. Agenda item number 8. That's our chief appraiser's report. Take it away, Ray.
Okay, we've talked about this a little bit in the past. We are doing, we're doing employee evaluations now. That's something that we waited for the fall to do. So the office is doing that. We've rewritten the employee evaluation form, to make it a 1-page form. Pretty happy with it. It's went very well so far. It made me think about some things, and we're in the process, hopefully in a couple of weeks at the most. I'm going to have a form that evaluates me for the office that they will give to y'all. So I want to be evaluated in an equal manner than the way the staff is evaluated. So I'm gonna make it something that they can type on, so that in case anybody wants to be completely anonymous.
I know who that was, that's.
Yeah, just in case, and what I'm thinking about doing is, this will be our first time through it, so it may not be perfect this time, and then you guys will see it and maybe say, don't ask this question, there's a better way to ask this question. I'm expecting that to happen, but in general, gonna produce something that it can be typed on, that can be printed, that can be given to someone in the office, either Nancy or Val, probably Val, who would then email out all of them to you guys to help you guys have some sort of understanding of my evaluation from the staff.
Okay.
I like it.
That came out of doing evaluations. I feel like I want to try that. If it's not a great idea, we'll find out. We have our 10th employee starting, we're hiring. She will be here on Wednesday for her first day. It's exciting news.
What position is it?
Customer service, so she'll be up front, and I'm excited about that. We've been seeing like about 3 or 4 months, because it's just so many random questions that hit the front. We're pretty sure about 60% of the questions that hit the front are actually not for us. So like, you just have to get pretty, have a lot of understanding that you're helping people navigate essentially the whole local government system. So it takes a little while, but we're excited about that. We've consolidated the off-site storage down to 1, so we had 2, so we're down to 1. We've got some stuff here, we had some stuff shredded. We're gonna see how things go budget-wise, but by first quarter of next year, somewhere in there, we plan to not have off-site storage anymore, and to just get rid of
That's
that
that Victoria.
thing. It's very odd, I've never been associated with anything like that. You pay to go see the storage. It's on a forklift, they bring all the stuff out, and then you have to pay to see your stuff.
What?
there's like a service fee for
In
their time.
addition to the.
Yeah, and then when you're done, you look at everything, I'm like, okay, that's what this is, I'm not ready for this now, and they take it back. And so it's not, that's a new business for me, I've never seen anything like that, but that's the way it works. I would say by the end of first quarter, 2026, the plan is to not have off-site storage, and we're down to one now.
I'm sorry, what was that date?
By the end of the first quarter,
First quarter?
yeah, by the January, February, yeah,
By St. Patty's Day.
we don't wanna have anything extra to do, not one single thing after February. Our time is toast from February to August. So it really needs to be done January to February with nothing else on our plate, in that time frame. And then the other months, we clean stuff up.
If there's some way I can help you on that, my schedule's very flexible, I'm in Victoria a lot.
Okay,
If there's something I need to do, go by there, pick up something, whatever, I'm happy to help. So,
thank you. We now have a TERS in our system. So I kind of knew this was coming, I've just been waiting. We asked for an official request. We have got that official request to say, create the TERS entity. So now we have created the TERS entity, and the appraisal district will be the record keeper for TERS value from here on out. We will not be the reporting agency. I'm letting you guys know this in case there's ever any questions. There's two different things. There's reporting, and then there's record keeping. We are record keeping. We are not, as far as I can tell, we have no reporting status. There's reporting things for things like TERS, abatements, financial agreements that entities make with people. There's reporting. There's a difference between who records the data and who reports the data.
So who is reporting it then? If you're doing-
More than likely with the TERS, it's either the city, or there's a thing called TXP. It's like a consultant, they may have the responsibility of reporting, and reporting would mean reporting to the comptroller. The comptroller is interested in the effect of those things, like an abatement. The comptroller will say, did this work? They're gonna wanna know, did this work? Was this a good idea? Was this a bad idea?
So did we get that baseline value, did we get that worked out? And everything's satisfactory?
That's as we can do,
Okay,
yeah.
but we feel like it's okay? We can live with it?
We're out where we're good, yes, we can live with it. Would I have a,
Yeah, if you
Am
had
I-
your druthers, it'd be a bit different probably.
absolutely,
Yeah.
but we're at a number.
Okay.
We're okay with that
All right. So that was one of the ones that got us to
2024.
zero for about a week.
number. 2024, that's the year, and so now we have a 2024, 2025, and moving forward, there'll be an entity called TERS.
And what does that stand for?
Tax increment reinvestment zone,
Thank you.
allegedly.
And then there's a Rockport wording in front of that. Because TERS is a functionary thing, and then it gets called like Rockport, I don't know.
Was it ARCID, Cultural Arts District or something?
I don't know, something, Rockport something.
I think it's to help with the development of the infrastructure over in downtown.
Does that, I want to say, does that have to do with all that stuff that was in the news about?
Earlier this year with the, yeah.
Okay.
Well, for our end, what becomes I think at the appraisal district, what's important is we have to do what we have to do. Like, we have to create the TERS. We have to put the properties in there. We have to report on the values. We have to have preliminary certified values. All of that has to be done. But at some point, we don't want to be anything more than what we have to do. And so we don't want to become the one-stop shop for everything related to TERS. So we are going to present data, is what we're going to do. And that data would just be like any other thing. It's the same thing as the MUD district or anybody else. It's just data. And it's new. It's new. It's a new thing, right? Beyond that, I think that's probably it. I put on here to let you guys know that we're doing an EAR submission, which is an electronic report for the comptroller, that's October. We do that in October. And, that's the final one for the year.
Okay.
Deadlines all being met.
Doing good, man. We're just, knocking stuff out. The stressor of the year submission, Kevin, is that the homestead exemption changed again.
Mm-hmm.
So what that does in the world of numbers that kind of stinks is it makes it where the historical number that's behind you, right, history is behind, well, the current number will not jive. So you don't get the warm fuzzy feeling of, well, it changed by 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, 1% over and over and over again. Now the graph will be different, which just makes you get a little nervous in the data. Like the counties will change. The county went from 1% homestead exemption to 5% homestead exemption. So if you looked at it as you were tracking it, every year the number's gonna be this 1% of the county, and now it's 5% of the county. So the comptroller had emailed us and said, this number may be wrong. But what they didn't know was it's 4% different, because the county implemented the new homestead exemption amount. So that's the kind of stuff that's just like, just makes you nervous. It's just a nerve-wracking thing when those exemption amounts change, because it changes the natural history of that number, where you look at it and it just doesn't jive. It's different. Yeah.
Do you know roughly of our total number value of property, what percentage of that is homestead? Do you have any idea? I mean,
We can do it. There's like, if we just roughly said, what is 8,000 divided by 25,000?
a little over a third, a little under a third,
There you go.
31%.
Yeah, and the weird thing for us, as I haven't looked at it in a while, but of that 8,000, it's like 8,300 homesteads. We have an extremely large number of homestead over 65
Mm-hmm.
because of our retirement
Oh,
community.
yeah. I'm actually a little surprised that it's even a third.
Yeah, I know, and of that, gosh, I may be so wrong about these guys, but I think it's over a half of them
Are over 65. That doesn't surprise me.
Right,
But
right.
it surprises me that there's even a third of, knowing how
Sure.
many second homes are out here and
Sure.
everything.
So as a function of value, though, do you have any idea what that percentage would be? I mean, just
No,
ballpark.
I don't know.
Because it would be lower than that 31%, I would think. Because typically,
Yeah.
a lot of your more extravagant homes are
Yeah.
not homesteads here.
Yeah.
Your homesteads are gonna be those in that $200,000 to $600,000 range,
Yeah.
not necessarily the $1 million stuff.
Should be, it's gonna start to be you're gonna see a big difference in percentages
Yeah.
of the whole
Mhm.
change. As the value increases, that number's gonna change drastically. So yeah, that's your window is probably 2 to 6. Yeah, it's a crazy thing to think about, that there's that many, we have so many over 65. We are such a destination for retirement. It's
Mhm.
off the charts. I mean, it's just, every county has so much autonomy. It's so defined about who you are, and that's one of the things that defines us, is people move here to retire. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always been in the DNA of Rockport, certainly.
Yeah.
So, were there any other legislative changes that we need to be aware of that happened?
The homestead exemption change is the biggest one. If you're out in the public and people know that you're on the board of directors, you always want to point them to us, but what they may want to know about is, how does the homestead exemption change affect me? And you had 2 changes. You had one local, which is the county, went from 1% to 5%. And then the big one is the state for the ISD went from 100 to 140.
But it has to be voted on November.
But it has to be voted on. So it'll be a total, if you're over 65, that exemption will now be $200,000. So what that means is every single homestead over 65 that has a home less than $200,000 will not pay a school tax. Yes, but they will They will have.
Not too many under $200,000.
They will,
So Janet, what that means is in 10 years, when you reach 65, you'll only pay 80% of your tax.
Yeah, 10 years. That's how that goes.
so yeah, that's the, and then the other one that may come up on your radar is that, there should be something in the ballot box that talks about business personal property
Oh,
having
Yeah.
a minimum amount of $125,000. So anything that's business personal property that's 125 or less, I think that's right, will not receive a tax. They will not receive a bill. They will be exempt from taxation.
So why are they voting on all these things? Why can't they just approve it? I thought the legislature just approved it.
I don't know what
It became
I don't
law.
know if it's based on a value or.
Yeah, some
what
things
they-
are changing in the Constitution, so it requires them. Our Constitution is extremely wordy.
And I think that I know the business personal property is constitutional also.
Okay.
Is it? Is that
Yeah.
the reason they
That's
have
why
to
it's
vote?
on.
Yeah, because I really questioned that whenever I opened up a business here and realized that I was taxed on the stuff that I had already paid for, and now I have to
Computers,
keep taxing
chairs.
it.
I always just took the bills every year. I never turned in a rendition. I was like, I'll just pay the
It feels
bills.
very intrusive, like, it's probably appraisal district's least favorite thing, is that.
Well, it's gotta be the most
Very-
difficult to
very-
attach a value to.
very
You're talking about stuff
arbitrary.
that's not moving.
All
It's
these
not
short-term
selling.
rentals
Yeah.
and all this stuff,
It's weird.
furnishing values, is very weird. So that's a possibility.
Well, and that's unique here too, and
It
that you have a rental that can be considered business personal property, or not the real estate part, but everything inside of
Inside.
the home can be
Inside.
considered business personal
So when
property.
we go to conferences and we wanna talk to people about that, it's literally crickets.
Yeah.
They're like, you
Yeah.
have what in your town? You have a short-term, what is that? And you're just like, never mind, dude.
Yeah.
You know how it usually gets explained when you go on vacation, you do a VRBO? That's how it gets explained, or an Airbnb, and then they're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You're like,
everything in there.
that's it, that's it.
Almost
Oh,
taxes
yeah.
in addition.
That's the
Yeah.
connection, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and boat storage are the things that we, people are just, they're just floored by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things I wanted to tuck into the chief appraiser report, we got a little feedback at the county the other day from Commissioner Cheney about the possibility. He didn't really give us a whole lot of guidance, but it was just more of a wish list, I guess. Remember when he was talking about things that we could possibly do to educate the public, I guess? And I don't want to put any more on your plate, but I want you to be thinking about if there's something you think that's doable. A series of short videos. I'm not talking about getting in the weeds a million times over, maybe sitting down with a couple of board members or something, discussing how does the board work? How do you do a protest? You know what I mean? Something simple. That way, whenever people ask you the same question a million times, you say, hey, we have a link for that.
Right. There's tons of videos out there.
Mm-hmm.
There are.
Well, then maybe we could just link
They're
those.
not personalized, but they are informative. Some of them are very good,
Okay.
but they're all property tax, so they're also very boring.
I know.
But if you have the question and you're willing to click the button,
Yeah.
there's a lot of answers.
I've always, even when Soto did it, the few times that I saw him doing it, I always appreciate any time that, and especially like at that, the Republican Party meeting the other night when y'all were there to talk. I know Mike, when he was here, he did a couple, there's a thing with the real estate, one of the real estate groups, that we went over there and he did a talk over there. I greatly appreciate that because it puts you out in front of people that are in our community, that are working here, that they're not gonna take the time to go click the links. And even just an hour a month going to something, I always really appreciated that. So, I mean, I do appreciate y'all showing up to that
Yeah.
meeting the other day and all these other meetings that y'all been going to.
Yeah,
I think that-
we didn't get beat up.
I think it does a lot. I think it does a lot for the community and the outreach there.
I hate to admit it, but I think you're right.
I
I don't naturally look, I have to be like, hey, you need to go do that kind of thing.
Give it time, right? I came into, before I owned the businesses or whatever, I was like, just sit me in my office and close the door. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And then now I have to actually be the person that goes out and talks to everybody. And
Yeah,
it's, now it's just
Yeah.
kind of second nature.
yeah.
Uh,
But I agree that it has been worthwhile, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been good. I mean, it's real easy to say mean things and dislike somebody who
you're not looking at, you know.
That's a big thing.
Social media.
You put a name to a face, and I tell a lot of people, they get mad on Facebook and all this other stuff, but it's like, if you go out and you actually talk to your neighbor,
Yeah.
it changes the whole demeanor. of
Right.
everything. So, anyway.
Except for me, and when I talk to my neighbors, they walk away not liking me, so that's me.
It's been good.
Part of the course.
Three stories about y'all's board meetings over there.
Yeah, they're terrible. Anyway, okay, Ray, do you have anything else?
No, I think I'm good. Feel pretty good about it.
Okay.
The other thing I wanna ask, since we're in the chief appraiser's report, you've been in the actual chief appraiser job now for a few months. You doing okay with it? You liking it?
Yeah,
No, he wants to.
I think
Just
that,
checking in.
I think, yeah, the checking in version of that is, it just takes, I'm finding myself just needing to be very patient. And I hate to use this analogy because it's used so often, but I always think of the slow turning ship. I always think of it.
Yep.
And you can't speed the ship up. You just let it turn, and that's how we talk. We have meetings around here, we're making a lot of changes within the group. And we talk about it all the time, about not ever putting somebody underneath a waterfall and expecting good things,
Right.
but just a little bit at a time. And when I worked at Oxy, I worked at a ship basin. And it's so corny that I think about this, but I literally think about the ship. I know it's corny, but I do think about it. That's my view of it, is, whenever I wanna speed things up, it gets frustrating fast.
Mine is, how do you eat an elephant, and it's one
That-
bite,
yeah.
one bite at a
One
time.
bite at a
Right.
time, yeah.
Do you need, is there anything else that you need from us that you're not getting from us that you could use?
I'm super happy with you guys, super happy.
I like where we are, I like where things are going, and I think, you know, it's just so much easier, man, when you grease the wheels a little bit, you know? And, I think especially if we get past this deal about the board constitution and all that, that's the next big hurdle in front of us. After that, I think it's smooth sailing, you know?
I agree. Thank you, you did a great job.
Yeah, Mike, thank you. We have a new member?
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
He's
Well,
gonna,
welcome
he's gonna
aboard.
get back on the narrow way. He's gonna fix everything in 1 week.
Turn it.
1 week.
His name is not sure. Okay, guys, well, if there's nothing else, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Look at it.
Motion made by Kevin, seconded by Janet, and is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, nay? Motion carries 5-0. All right, guys, we are adjourned as of 6 o'clock. Awesome. Now the real meeting starts, I'm just kidding.
Actually, so what is the length of my appointment?
Until you're told otherwise.
That's what it's feeling like after that conversation?
Only because I was involved in that one, but it was an interim through the end of this term.
Right. That's what I kind of figured it was.
So, his is up at the end of the year too?
Well, he's filling Colleen's
Kathy.
unexpired
2-year term.
Colleen.
Colleen.
We don't know when
That's right, she was a
supposed to be.
2-year term.
So
She started in 2024, and so the end of this year would be the end of her 2-year term. And he is filling the remainder of
Well, I
her.
certainly hope a lot of us get, because it's
Yeah,
gonna be
that's-
tough to get a,
Because
whole new
I think
board.
I'm up for new appointment as well, since my term was always only for a 1-year term. At least that's my understanding of it.